So this is what disloyalty and people who don't respect you look like, y'all. People like him. Be careful who you invite into your home, who you have around your loved ones and your friends and family. This is what you get.
There's a big debate right now around this Kenyon Martin and Suge situation at Gil's Arena. Some people are saying, look, those comments were made before they even met, and over time, the relationship changed as he got to know Kenyon better. Others are saying, nah, he only got close because Kenyon was an opportunity, and now those old takes are catching up to him. Either way, it's a messy situation. Acho stepped in with his take, Gilbert Arenas added more fuel to it, and Suge has already spoken out, even issuing an apology. He basically said you never know who you're going to cross paths with, so you've got to be careful what you say online because it can always resurface. Now it gets interesting because Emmanuel Acho believes Kenyon should actually apologize to Suge too. So let's break down what Gil said and why Acho is pushing that angle.
I don't know what to say. You can't tell a man how to respond, right? That's one thing you can't do, when they feel a certain way, right? Whatever actions you put, if that person wants to respond, that person wants to respond. So, there's just details in it where, the video itself, where the guy was saying it, he wasn't actually working with us yet, with Gil's Arena. He was reading comments, and so this was a few years ago. So he was reading.
Oh, this isn't recent.
Yeah.
This isn't recent.
It wasn't recent. It was pushed to Kenyon like it actually was recent,
Okay.
but it wasn't a recent thing. He wasn't on the staff, and I guess he was like defending me in a sense, and he was reading comments and going off the comments, and then he said that about Kenyon.
Okay.
And then after the fact, he met Kenyon when he came and started working for the company and stuff like that, and him and Kenyon became good. So, the people who held on to it, been, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to get it to Kenyon. And then, I guess since it came, to light, like, oh, we have the video. And then that's when he tried to apologize to Kenyon. So but since Kenyon never seen it, he just thought, oh yeah, well, don't worry about it. Now, he's seeing it, and so now he thinks, oh yeah, I had you in my house, I had you in my family, my kids, so it's one of those things where it's like, well, no, and it was before, and I had to check, because my dad, watches all that down below level content where they down there beefing. Doxing each other, recording, they, edit, make it look certain ways. So my dad was like, no. I watched that episode because I was like, ooh, wait, oh,
Kmart owes a producer an apology if we being real.
Publicly.
And I'll say that, like, Kenyon Martin owes the producer an apology because Kenyon Martin wanted to make the producer feel as hurt as Kenyon Martin felt, and the producer committed a crime against Kenyon Martin before the producer was close to Kenyon Martin, before the producer was in Kenyon Martin's home, before the producer met Kenyon Martin's wife and Kenyon Martin's kids. That's when the crime was committed. After meeting Kenyon Martin's wife, kids, and being in his home, producer changed his behavior. He owes him an apology.
I don't have all the facts straight. They think that I went to his house first and then made them comments. And they also don't know that when I made the comments, after I said it, is when he was on the show later and spoke about it, his sensitivity to it. And that's when I'm like, oh shit, I fucked up with this. And this is way before I moved to Cali. So when I finally moved here, I felt like I had to apologize.
Now, Acho feels like Kenyon should apologize because, in his view, it looked like he was trying to embarrass the guy or make him feel bad. But here's how I see it. If we really knew what the people we love and trust have said about us behind our backs, most of us wouldn't rock with anybody. Everybody has said something out of emotion, out of anger, or just in the wrong moment, and if all of that came to light, it would change a lot of relationships. Suge's situation just came to light, but trust me, there's way more out there from other people too. So the question becomes, how far do you take it? Because if you chase every comment, you'd start side-eyeing family, friends, everybody. But at the same time, when it's out in the open like this, you can't just ignore it. And I think what really got to Kenyon was the idea of someone smiling in his face while saying those things behind his back. From Suge's perspective, he's saying he didn't fully understand the sensitivity at the time. But let's be honest, we all know a stutter is a sensitive topic. We've seen how that affects people growing up, so you should already be careful with it. That's why Suge kinda has to hold that. And even though he apologized, Kenyon didn't accept it, and that's his right. But here's where Suge messed up, in my opinion. If it was really weighing on him like that, he shouldn't have gotten close or accepted invites without clearing it up first. You don't go into someone's home, build that bond, and then later try to clean it up. You address it early, before things get personal. Because imagine if Kenyon found out in his own house. That's a whole different energy. People react differently when it's their space, their environment. That part could have been handled better. And another thing, when you go online and talk to people connected to the situation, you have to know that audio and clips don't just disappear, especially when there's already tension around the show. You can't move careless like that. From what I've seen, instead of tearing Kenyon down when someone praised him, Suge could have just uplifted everyone else on the panel. There's a way to show love without throwing someone under the bus. That approach of tear one down to lift another always backfires. At the end of the day, it's messy on both sides, but some of this could have been avoided with better judgment. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.